UFOs are real, burgeoning, and not going away. Today is October 26th. This is our weekly UFO update. Our lead story today, NASA, never a straight answer, announces 16 people who will study UFOs to see what's natural and what isn't. Aren't you comforted by that? We'll get into that and so much more. But first, a word from our trusted sponsor. Visible signs of aging only get worse as we age because of a decrease in our naturally produced collagen levels. Folks, every decade our skin suffers from a 10% decrease in its available collagen supply, as well as a decrease in its quality. That means you'll have lost, get this now, 30% of collagen your body used to be able to naturally produce by the time you're 45, which is why you have to start supplementing collagen if you want to keep your youthful glow. In the next minute, I'm going to tell you how anyone can reduce visible signs of aging quickly and easily. After years of searching, the closest thing I found to a modern-day fountain of youth, and folks, I take this stuff every day, is called collagen. Collagen rejuvenates and renews your skin from the inside out with 5 supercharged types of collagen your body needs for youthful-looking skin. By boosting your collagen levels with multi-collagen, you'll help restore your skin's elasticity and thickness while reducing the appearance of wrinkles. Try it today, folks, risk-free for 60 days and for up to 51% off by clicking a link in the description box directly below or by visiting www.healthwithla.com. That's www.healthwithla.com. After placing your order, they will deliver straight to your doorstep along with a few added bonuses. It's a great deal. I take the collagen powder every single day. I drink a concoction of it. It tastes good. And you know what? I noticed the difference. I really do. Okay, so let's get into the show. So here it is, and you can see the large craft coming over the treetops over some river bank or lake or what have you. Obviously CGI artist interpretation. But isn't it wonderful to know that 16 people who will study UFOs to see what's natural and what isn't. What's amazing is those of us in ufology who have been studying this for decades, and this is why we made 3 films on this, and 4 will be released soon in November. We are in post-production, and it's moving very quickly, and I want to get this film out before Christmas. It's that important. What's amazing is it's, in my opinion, and this is completely, can I prove it? Absolutely not. But it's based on years and years and years of research. There is a shadow government, in my opinion. Area 51 and NASA don't speak to each other. Now that's conjecture. That's conjecture. But we know, and this goes way back into the late 80s, early 90s, Gary Schultz was out at Area 51. This is before anyone knew about Area 51. He was out there with a Japanese film crew. And they filmed, and we show it, not in any of the, it didn't make it into the cut, but I'm going to show you what this does. So here's the UFO right here, right? I'm going to hold it like this so you can see it a little better. So it's traveling like this. All of a sudden it blinks out, and a second later it's up here like this. So in other words, it's in one location, blink out, and then you see it up here like in a split second. How is it possible? How is that possible? The X-Files did a show where Mulder hops over the fence, and that's basically like an Area 51 type deal, and he sees a UFO craft. Gary Schultz and Pearl used to go out there on a Wednesday night. Why? Because Wednesday, and this is based on Gary's interview, they realized that most people were home for the evening. So most people didn't travel a lot on Wednesday, didn't go out to restaurants, kind of a midweek thing. So that's when all the fun began in Area 51, according to Gary Schultz. So he would go out there and wait at this place called the Mailbox. Can't go there anymore. Why? Because Area 51 extended its boundaries. But you could go there in the 90s, and you could watch the craft come up You could see them, and they would come up and they would zoom around and do all sorts of crazy things. So when NASA announces that 16 people will study UFOs, to me, it's a nothing burger, because this goes way back into the 90s. Somebody in our government knows exactly what's going on, in my opinion. So that brings us to, and let me read this. Federal officials continue to monitor UAPs because they are viewed as a potential national security threat. Okay? The Department of Defense created the Airborne Object Identification and Management Synchronization Program in November 2021 to track and analyze UFOs. So what's amazing here is a national security threat. I just watched the Stephen Greer's movie, We Are Not Alone, Unacknowledged. And what's interesting about that, Greer is echoing this, that our government, at least sections of it, are painting this as a national security threat. And in some ways it's true. Why? Because you've got craft flying over airports unannounced with complete impunity. That can't happen. So let's continue. While UFOs are commonly associated with aliens, NASA doesn't think the phenomena are extraterrestrial in origin, but the agency says observations make it difficult to draw scientific conclusions. Folks, this is, in my opinion, with all due respect to these guys, this is the biggest bunch of horse pucky I've ever heard in my life. Well, maybe not the biggest, but close to it. It's total doublespeak. It's the old Texas two-step. We'll form a committee and we'll figure this out. Really? What about Bob Lazar's work? Lazar back-engineered the propulsion system where? Papoose Lake, Groom Lake, Area 51. Now, he said that in the 90s. Talked about the sports model in the 90s. So somebody knows what's going on. Do you think they pick up the phone and tell the boys at NASA, hey guys, we know exactly where this stuff is from? Why would the Pentagon tell us that we have extraterrestrial craft not made on this earth? We have craft not made on this earth. Why would they tell us that? You'd be the judge. So moving right along to Stephen Greer's film, well done, bully for him, great cinematography, great interviews. We are not alone, we never were. So unacknowledged, there's Stephen. And he comes from a paradigm, and look, he's not here to defend himself. So I have to be careful. I don't want to twist his words, and I don't want to disparage him in any way. I'm just not going to do that. But I disagree with him respectfully. Greer talks about going into meditation and then opening yourself up and communicating with these entities. Now, I was with a guru for 3 years, as many of you know, more like 3.5 years. And my third eye was open. I meditated every day, twice a day, once at 5 o'clock in the morning and once at night. And I had all sorts of unbelievable things happen during that meditation. What meditation never does is go down and deal with the sin nature. It never does that. As Christians, we know what the sin nature is. And being born again and spirit-filled, you're going to deal with the sin nature. Meditation never does that. Meditation, in fact, will open a person up into the lower astral, into the second heaven, the denizens of the second heaven. Think about it. So this is what these two talking heads, and of course, once again, the threat. They're painting it as the nuclear interest. And we know from our interview with Robert Salas that a 60-foot wide UFO appeared over the base where Salas was stationed. He was about 60 feet underground in the control center. They turned on and off all the ballistic missiles just like that. How was it possible? We also had reports of a 20-ton silo lid, which was just picked up and moved and set to the side. So now the silo is wide open. Are they going to launch the nuke? I've stated this numerous times that I truly believe that we are headed towards some sort of a nuclear event on this planet. More than likely in and around the Ukraine, because that's where the smoke is right now, right? And it can even be a dirty nuke. And the fact that they're talking about nukes and dirty nukes is beyond the pale, in my opinion. So the late David Flynn talked about this, that there would be some sort of a nuclear event, and then they would show up. We'll have to see about that. Meantime, this, of course, is 5 Symington, the Phoenix Lights, 1997, and he was voted out of office shortly after that in the next election. And a lot of his constituents were really ticked off because he made fun of the Phoenix Lights. At the 10-year anniversary, 5 Symington was on Larry King Live. You can Google that show and watch it for yourself. And the first thing he did was apologize to his constituents and said, I saw the craft, and whatever this was not from this earth. But this is the way the game is played. So they dressed up a staff member in an alien costume, and they all yucked it up. Really? I believe that these ET vehicles and their crews are visiting this planet from other planets, which obviously are a little more technically advanced than we are here on Earth. That's astronaut Gordon Cooper. This is the Honorable Jordan McCormick, former Speaker of the House. I feel that the Air Force has not been giving out all the available information on these unidentified flying objects. You cannot disregard so many unimpeachable sources. Think about that one. Mikhail Gorbachev. The phenomenon of UFOs does exist, and it must be treated seriously. President Harry S. Truman. I can assure you that flying saucers, given that they exist, are not constructed by any power on this planet. There's a shot, you can see the laser, and this is how, like up at East City Ranch, they communicate with them. And also, in Stephen Greer's show may show that. So they'll flash the laser, and there'll be like a communication between them. In my opinion, folks, you're playing with fire here. These are not extraterrestrials, and I've said this numerous times. These are interdimensional entities. This is the cusp of the coming great deception. That's what we are looking at. And I am absolutely on fire with this. And so that's why we've got, part 3 is now available. We're shipping out. Please be patient. Parts 1, 2, and 3 are now available. I would highly, strongly recommend that not only by helping us stay on the air here and do what we're doing and create more and more films, but you need to hold a UFO party, invite your friends over, show them the films, especially number 4, which will be released sometime in November. Also, folks, don't forget, Vicki Joy Anderson's book, They Come Out at Night. They only come out at night. It's a home run, in my opinion. It's riveting, it's groundbreaking, and you'll want to get that. You can get both of these titles, all of our UFO films, On the Trail of a Nephilim. By the way, this film here is now streaming. Streaming.lamarzulli.net. Streaming.lamarzulli.net. Instant gratification, you can check it out. And we are shipping Vicky's book as well. Thanks so much for watching the weekly UFO update. I'll see you tomorrow with questions for LA. If you've got a question, write questions at lamarzulli.net. Questions at lamarzulli.net. Thanks so much for watching. Please hit the subscribe button. Tell a friend about our show. One of our shows here, Supernatural Confrontations, the one from Norway, has 72,000 hits. That's sort of a record for us, and I want to thank you for your patronage. Thank you so much for coming here and tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow with questions for LA. That would be me, and I'll have some answers. And if I get stumped, hallelujah, I'll do some digging and see if I can answer your question. Questions at lamarzulli.net. Questions at lamarzulli.net. Thanks so much for watching. Remember, UFOs are real, burgeoning, and not going away.
They got their knowledge from the heavens.
He saw it, said, whoa, that's a UFO.
This orb comes up and it's bright orange.
I'm not wanting to make full eye contact with these things. But from what I did see when I did look at them, they're like they're soulless.
It was right directly above us right here, and then it started tilting and moving up like that.
All of a sudden I was being lifted about 3 feet off the ground.
It was going slow. I was walking right underneath it.